Alright, welcome back to a GosuGamers.net presentation. This is a Gosu Gamers SteelSeries World Cup match between DRD and SK for the winner's bracket, actually, of these quarterfinals. These two teams, obviously two good American teams, both play each other pretty often, actually. I know that DRD is one of the most recent matchups, so it looks like they might be looking to extend their kind of winning streak against SK. I am, of course, War Machine. Today I'm joined by the Headhunter on my co-cast. How you doing today, Headhunter?
Doing good. Excited to see this game. A lot of really high-level players in here, so this should be a very nice game.
Yeah, obviously a lot of great players on both teams. I mean, you look at people like, Angry Tessie, obviously a legend of the Han scene, even one of the best mid players, I would say, that people see and kind of more of a public figure. But DRD, they've been picking up a lot of very good people that some people might not even know about. So they've been really forming a solid team and winning a lot of games recently. So it's good. It's going to be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, and we will see JCP Lord actually ringing for DRD this game. So.
Yeah, it's weird. He's not actually technically ringing. He's been on their roster since the group stage. Before the group stage, even the qualifiers. He's obviously not tagged up with them. I think he's tagged up with some other people that he knew from Dota in a different team. But he's still on the roster. He's not really ringing. It's not like some one of those kind of things. But yeah, we will see JCP Lord. Obviously a good player as well. We already had the bands come out. Looks like Swiftblade, Flint Beastwood, Thunderbringer, Dr. Repulsor, Hellbringer, and Devourer. No super standout bands there. I guess Swiftblade not banned super often, but obviously a very powerful hero. He's one of the few carries I feel that he just has that great early game capability to kill heroes, and that's why he's such a good pickup. I mean, do you think it's at all outrageous to ban Swiftblade?
No, I don't think so. I mean, in some lineups, Swiftblade can be pretty devastating, and maybe whichever team banned him knows something that we don't about what they're planning on going. So.
Yeah, looks like actually picking up Pharaoh at that first pick, and you see some of the players kind of commenting on it. But I don't know about that Pharaoh first pick. He's kind of a strange hero to first pick. I obviously usually like to pick up some support or something, one of the more powerful support heroes, or even I guess a carry if you really think one of them's Imba and is going to be picked up by the other team if you don't get him. I mean, Do you think that's a good pickup for them? I mean, do you really think that someone was going to pick him on DRD that they really needed to first pick it?
I don't know. My only thought is that Testy has played Pharaoh 3 out of his last 7 games and won all 3 of them, so maybe he's on a roll with Pharaoh and they figured out a pretty solid lineup that involves him playing Pharaoh, so they just wanted to get that. Yeah,
it's actually really strange looking at those games because he gets a lot of kills, especially for a Pharaoh. He's got a high, KD ratio, which is kind of strange for Pharaoh. Usually, you see Pharaoh diving in and initiating, and I mean, he doesn't necessarily get that many kills, gets a lot of assists and dies a lot, so maybe they've got, some strategy up their sleeve that, we haven't seen yet, and maybe it'll work out for him.
Yeah, and DRD going for the common support pickups as their first pick.
Yeah,
maybe trying to form some sort of tri-lane lineup.
Yeah, it does really look like a tri-lane, especially with those two. Witchlayer and Voodoo Jester are obviously two very strong tri-laning heroes, so it does look like right now that they're going to go for that tri-lane. But yeah, we see Tundra picked up. That is kind of SK kind of going for a very non-traditional lineup.
Yeah, this could actually be really interesting and really hard for DRD to handle if they are not really sure what to expect.
Yeah, obviously with one of those kind of like, I guess it's like a curveball strategy, I mean, obviously Tundra, he's picked up steam recently with a couple teams, and a lot of teams pick him for he's a great mid-hero, and he's a good hero, and it's just, you don't see him much, I guess, in this kind of lineup. I mean, so far they've really picked 2 melee in the first 3 picks is kind of unheard of.
Yeah. Absolutely, and picking up Glacius for that support.
And I mean, they might even be running some kind of 1 support lineup, I don't even know. Kind of a fall-on support in recent matches, obviously. Most teams picking up either 2 to 3 support heroes, which has kind of been the norm recently, but looks like I'm interested to see what their strategy is coming into this game, because it looks like they might be trying something different, and different is always good.
Yeah, me too. After the influx of the tri-lane strategy that's just been bouncing around, it'd be nice to see something really different.
Yeah, and I've already expressed to some of our other casts my love for this kind of, and it was especially prevalent in the Dustbin EG matches where they ran kind of like a 1-1-1 with 2 roamers. It was really effective for them, and I really like that strategy. And looking at, I guess Glacius not really the best roamer, but I am interested to see what they run, and I guess I'll just have to wait.
Yeah, it looks like we do see Hag and Soul Stealer picked up for DRD, so
yeah, this
definitely
is
expecting some trial.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a tri lane. Obviously, Soul Stealer mid and Wretched Hag playing in that long lane.
Hammerstorm too, yeah.
Yeah, the opposite lane, and then having a Hammerstorm tri lane. Hammerstorm tri lane, especially with the Witch Slayer and Voodoo Jester, obviously a very powerful lane, 3-stun lane. Especially if you have that Voodoo Jester heal, really allows you to just stay in lane forever and really pick up some of the things that tri-laning usually doesn't get you, with is those levels and stuff, people needing to bail out for a second and go pull in the woods and stuff. It kind of evens that out with that strong. Voodoo Jester's heal is actually really strong for a relatively low mana cost, so obviously a very strong lane, and I'm thinking that depending on what SK runs, it kind of looks like they're going to run that Glacius Forsaken Archer Behemoth tri-lane, and I don't know if that one's very much more powerful than 3-stun lane from DRD.
So you do think they're going to go for a tri-lane then?
It kind of looks like it to me. The only other thing I could think of, the only thing that I don't like about it is that they would really probably have a double melee lane if they didn't run a tri-lane. Because obviously you'd want that Glacius to go with that Forsaken Archer, and you leave yourself with 3 melee heroes.
I guess. I don't know. My only thought was that Behemoth, in a lane with Forsaken Archer, is going to miss out on a lot of farm, and it's always good to get him his Blink Dagger pretty early, so I don't know. But yeah, he's still a great tri-lane hero either way, so. But seeing Pharaoh and Tundra, those are definitely strong laning heroes, so I could definitely see a tri-lane coming too.
Yeah, obviously running Pharaoh mid is, not as popular in more high-level games, but Tundra mid obviously very popular, and Pharaoh in that long lane very popular, so I think that might be a better laning setup for him, and it kind of looks like that's what they're trying to do, so hopefully we'll get some good tri-lane on tri-lane action. Obviously I'd like to see more of the exciting ones, but hopefully it'll be a good one.
So Testy actually me playing Tundra, my Pharaoh prediction was actually incorrect.
Yeah, that is really strange. That is really strange, obviously, with him playing that many games as Pharaoh, and then picking him up and then just not letting him play him. I guess Tobacco feels a little more comfortable on him or something. I don't even know.
Or maybe Testy's the best Tundra ever known to Han, and just no one has any idea that that's the truth.
Well, to be honest, that wouldn't even be that much of a stretch, because obviously Testy a very good mid player, and Tundra a very good mid hero, so I don't think it's that much of a stretch for him to be playing Tundra if he goes that mid route.
Definitely.
As you see the lanes coming out, it looks like both teams are going to try and go for some kind of gank. I don't see Witch Slayer going mid to be kind of an odd strategy unless they're running some sort of 2-2-1, which actually a 2-2-1 on DRD's side really wouldn't be that bad. Running someone in that mid lane like Witch Slayer with Soul Stealer, obviously a very powerful lane, and then Pestilence and Voodoo Jester.
It actually kind of looks like what they might be doing. They're kind of heading that way.
Yeah, and I honestly think that might be a little bit better for him. Obviously, getting Witch Slayer at those levels and getting Witch Slayer at least a little bit of farm in that mid lane benefits him greatly. He needs those levels to be really effective with those longer stuns and disables. So I think that might be what they're doing. I think that might be their best bet. Looks like SK will send this tri-lane top, though, with that Forsaken Archer, Glacius, Behemoth.
Yep.
And then have Pharaoh and Tundra soling those lanes.
Tundra mid, Pharaoh bottom, it looks like, as we expect. Wow. DRD really wants some blood on bottom, and I don't really think they're going to get it, actually, because SK coming out really late.
Yeah, honestly, I think SK knows what DRD is doing. Obviously, like I said, they play quite often, and they know that DRD likes to go for this first blood. DRD always brings 4 bottom, and they always look to pick off that first hero. Obviously, SK, they know this. And even you look top and you see how far back Voodoo Jester is, he knows that they're looking for first blood. And obviously, a very strong start to the game if you can get that first blood before the game even starts. So, a good thing to avoid. It gives it a lot of sway early game.
So, we're going to see a pause.
Yeah, always with the pauses. But it does look like they're going to run this 2-2-1.
Yes. And that's actually going to be pretty strong against Tundra. He's going to have a major trouble farming if he's going to get pretty harassed pretty hard by dual range against a melee.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty rough for him. He's really going to have to lean pretty hard on those, I don't remember what they're called, piercing shards to get him those creep kills and get him what he needs, so...
Yeah.
That's going to be a really rough lane for him, especially with all the harass damage coming out. Looks like Pestilence is eventually going to head top, taking a kind of a slow route over there, but he will eventually get up there and...
Glacius already looks like to be heading mid, so maybe SK is just going to go for an instant change so they can 2-2-1 as well.
Yeah, like we're saying, obviously, Witchslayer versus Soulstealer, or I'm sorry, Witchslayer and Soulstealer versus Tundra mid, not the greatest of options for SK, so it looks like they will do that, and obviously they don't really need those 3 heroes top, they just rather have it at 2v2.
Or not.
Or not, who knows? Apparently they're going to try and dominate that lane. Maybe, I'd rather see, to be honest, I'd rather see Behemoth roaming around other than Glacius. It's kind of odd to have Glacius roaming.
Agreed, especially in a Forsaken Archer lane, where Glacius is so strong.
Yeah, it looks like Voodoo Jester actually getting initiated on pretty hard, but great stun by him and great use of the trees to get back there a little bit farther, and he's going to manage to live. Sitting back in those trees. Great juke by him trying to sit a little bit farther back so they couldn't get a good beat on it.
We're also see Pharaoh Hag bottom. What do you think about that?
I think if Pharaoh plays aggressive enough and he manages to get some levels before he goes down a couple times, he'll be fine, but early game Wretched Hag is really going to dominate him. Wretched Hag obviously has a pretty good attack animation, and Pharaoh's going to have to rely pretty heavily on those Tortured Soul nukes to get some creep kills, and unfortunately the thing with getting kills with the Tortured Soul means that you're also pushing the lane unnaturally because it does so much damage in a large AoE. It's really hard to just snipe one creep with a Tortured Soul. The AoE is just too big. It's kind of ridiculous, so it's going to be hard for him to kind of keep that wave back and make it easy for him to get those creep kills.
Definitely. Tundra's Piercing Shards deal so much damage. Look at Witchslayer already under half health. Like, that spell just deals so much damage because it chooses between physical and magic, whichever one you have less reduction of, so...
Yeah, it's a very powerful spell, and that's really what makes Tundra so powerful mid is that Piercing Shards, because it's great because you can use it to farm, but you can also hit people in the process, just shooting it straight through the creep wave, so... with the harass and the creep, I mean, you look at him right there. He shot through, got 2 creep kills, and hit Soulstealer for full damage. I mean, it's obviously a very powerful skill, and it looks like he will be okay in this lane. But yeah, he's really sitting far back and kind of just hanging out back here, not really getting the grace of experience gain. It doesn't look like. Doesn't look like there's any more. They're still keeping that 3v2 top. I feel like they really need to get some kills early to make it worthwhile, and they really need to play more aggressively.
But it looks like Forsaken Archer is pretty much free farming, so maybe it's going to work out for them. Like, if Forsaken Archer can get the farm and just having those 2 heroes there really stops DRD from getting a farm there, that might be beneficial in the end. But we should expect to see some ganks at some point.
Yeah, we see a missed Pesty stun there.
There we go.
It looks like Voodoo Jester is actually going to go down. And he will for the Bloodlust kill. Good initiation by Forsaken Archer, and kind of a miss done by Pestilence. Looked like he tried to move closer and got held at the last second. So, good job by SK on picking up that kill, getting that Bloodlust and getting who got the kill? Actually, Fog got the kill on Behemoth. So get him a little bit closer to that Porky. Obviously, Forsaken Archer getting all of the creep kills, so not probably the worst idea to have Behemoth maybe pick up a kill or 2.
Yeah, Tundra in mid is just so far behind right now. Total kills for Soulstealer and Witchslayer is 14 and 13, where Tundra's only 8 and 1, so he's definitely going to be affected by this pretty hard.
Actually, Witchslayer's 1, but yeah. Yeah, obviously, you know, with only 8 creep kills, that's obviously not enough, especially for someone who's playing mid. Angry Testy, I mean, he's doing his best, and he's using those shards to get the kills, but unfortunately it is a pretty mana-intensive skill for someone like Tundra, who really doesn't start off with that much mana and doesn't have that much mana regen. Glacius obviously helping him out with that with his aura, but it's just hard to keep up that much harass with the piercing shards and the amount of mana they cost.
Yeah.
Looks like Witchslayer's going to pick up an Invisor bot. Let's see what he might be doing about that. Looks like he's going to try and set up a kill on Tundra mid, hanging towards there and kind of moving towards there, so...
Tundra pretty buff, though.
Yeah, he does have he does have 800 life, but obviously those Soulstealer nukes very powerful, especially with all 3 of them after the stun. It looks like they will initiate him. It looks like Soulstealer's going to get one more nuke off, maybe, and he will, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough damage. Tundra using the dog, or whatever that is, cowl roll to